Hey, welcome into the Fantasy Flow Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Austin. That's Andy. Andy, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. We have football back, baby.
Yeah. Preseason games going on as we're recording this right now. Preseason week 1. Anthony Richardson just got hurt again. Keenan Allen just re-signed with the Chargers. Things are happening. Things are moving and shaking. ADP is changing all over the place. Suspension's finally coming down in the case of Jordan Addison. More to come, I'm sure. It's a very exciting time, and we're here to give you some advice on who to draft and who to avoid. Equally as important, if not more important, Andy, in my opinion, who not to draft, because you can't win your league at the draft, but you can lose your league at the draft, in my opinion and in my experience. Very important to identify landmines, let your league mates draft them instead. And Andy, we're going to go through each round and give you our best pick and our least favorite pick of every round. And we went through this with a 12-team PPR redraft draft in mind. Okay, this isn't best ball. We're not trying to we're not seeking out spike weeks. We're not entering any tournaments. Okay, this is for your home league. You're trying to dominate your friends, family, and coworkers. Okay, so Andy, we're going to start off in round 1, picks 1 through 12. I'm going to flip it to you. I know when I did this, I just looked at Sleeper's ADP, and you were using a website or something that combined all the ADPs?
Draft Sharks, yep.
Right on. Okay. So all the ADP that's out there, what's your favorite pick from round 1?
I'm going to go Amon Ra St. Brown. I mean, look, it's the first round. All of these guys are studs. All of them are great. There's generally very little to no risk with these guys. That's why they're being drafted in the first round. We don't have to explain much. But when you look at the list, I think St. Brown just delivers the safe, reliable building foundation that you need to draft the rest of your team and know that this guy's going to get you top 5 performances and give you top 5 upside, and probably going to finish right at top 5.
Yeah, I love this pick. It's very safe, and it just sets you up so well for the rest of your draft because you don't have to worry about, he's a little inconsistent, so I need to go this way. You don't have to worry about the offense. Like, I don't worry about Ben Johnson leaving. The Lions were just so... I mean, they were the number 1 offense in the league, I think, last year.
Right.
So, they can take a dip and still be a great offense. So, it really checks the box there. You want good players on good teams. That's exactly what Amon Ra is. No injuries, really. He's just a total stud. He plays through everything. So, I love that for fantasy. I think it's a great pick. Like you, I kind of avoided the top 3 or 4 guys just because if you don't have one of those top picks, you can't even consider them. I love those elite running backs, but I went with a guy who I think is being drafted right next to Amon Ra, and I went with Puka Nacua. A lot of similar reasoning. He's just really consistent. He's on what I project to be a great offense. As of this recording, we don't know a whole lot about the Matthew Stafford back situation. Obviously, if Stafford is no longer ready for week 1, then maybe you should just pivot to Amon Ra, but by the time your draft actually rolls around. But the Rams expect him to be ready for week 1. So I love Puka. Last year on a points per game basis, he was right there with Jamar Chase. And you're getting Puka at pick 8? So
yeah.
That's a value in my opinion. And yeah, there's so much vacated receptions and vacated touchdowns, which we talked about that on some of our previous videos. If you're interested in that, we kind of dove into the analytics of what's going on with the Rams offense and the turnover there. There's so much opportunity for just to go up. So that's why I leaned Puka Nacua.
Yeah, can easily be the number 1 wide receiver at the end of the year. He's in the first round for a reason. I'm not too concerned about the Matthew Stafford news, and even if Matthew Stafford isn't available, they have good old reliable Jimmy Garoppolo to back him up. So, this is a easy, safe pick. This is the first round. There really are no bad picks, but I think looking at the list, the most riskiest player in the first round is definitely Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it can't be any other like 50-50 coin flip of a player in the first round than CMC. He's either going to be a top 3 running back or he's going to ruin your draft. And you just have to have your own opinion about this guy. I mean, he has first round talent with like third round risk, right? So it's
no, you basically just have to make a decision, like you said, going into the draft. Okay, am I willing to take on this massive risk or not? That's tough. I struggle with it because I think he is a value, and he's healthy right now. Any player can get hurt. So I totally see the arguments for it. But yeah, if you are just trying to set yourself up for success with good, safe picks, and then maybe you take on some risk later on in the draft in more of a responsible way, I totally understand that. I think CMC's going at like the 1-2 turn on Sleeper.
Right.
Yeah, I got another running back that I'm a little wary of. The name I'm going to throw out there, I think this is going to be a hot take. I'm saying Ashton Jeanty is my least favorite pick of the first round. He's a very exciting prospect. We do this every year. We did it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We did it with Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. Just the top rookie just gets skyrocketed up this ADP, and everyone's just they're clamoring to have the hottest name, the new hotness, right? And that's what Ashton Jeanty is. But the reality is, look, I think he's going to be a workhorse, but you can get workhorse running backs in round 2. You can get them in round 3. And those guys are on better offenses. Like you can wait around and take Josh Jacobs, Kyren Williams, like the Packers, the Rams. These are teams that are projected to score way more points, and you don't really have to sacrifice much because there are, like I said, there are just workhorse running backs. You can just wait one more round, and you're not taking on risk of A, being a rookie, or B, being on a Raiders offense led by Chip Kelly with all the turnover. It's not projected to be as good of an offense. So I don't understand why he's a first-round pick.
Yeah, they have like a top half or just right at the halfway mark projected O-line by PFF. So it's not the worst. And I think you're right. It's just the first offensive rookie, being drafted. We all are clamoring to get a piece of it. But I heard an interesting stat to compare him to Zeke Elliott, compare him to another top 5 running back that was being Saquon his rookie year, and they all finished within like the top 2, top 3 running backs. So he was a top 10 draft pick. He fits that category. Yeah. I think they're just following the trend, right?
Saquon's a good comp. That'll be really interesting to see how it turns out, right? Saquon, he was from Penn State, and he was just so clearly dominant. I think he went number 2 overall. So it just felt a little less risky. And then Zeke, he went to, I think the Cowboys had the number 1 offensive line at the time.
Yep.
But I don't know. Yeah, no, I totally get it, and I think he's going to be great. I just don't know that he's like a top 5. But I don't know that he should be drafted as a top 5 running back.
Okay, let's hear your round 2. Let's hear your best pick of round 2.
My favorite pick of round 2. He's going, I guess, kind of the middle of round 2, based on what I'm seeing. Again, this is a PPR league. I love Drake London in this spot. I think with Michael Penix Jr. coming in, him and Drake London just had an immediate connection at the end of last year. The Falcons, there's not a ton of mouths to feed. It's like London, Darnell Mooney, who's working through an injury, I think a shoulder injury, and then Ray McLeod, Kyle Pitts, like gross. Like there's not a ton of options. Drake London himself is a very safe, very consistent player. He's going to see a ton of volume. And I project this Falcons offense to sling the ball. Now that Arthur Smith is no longer there, right? Like I just see this as just kind of a no-brainer, just real safe, but also high ceiling pick.
Yeah, I agree. It's Zach Robinson is the offensive coordinator. It's his second year now. Yeah, I agree. He was actually the first name I wrote down, and then I crossed it off, and I put Chase Brown as my favorite second round pick. I actually like this second round a lot more than the first round, if that makes any sense. Every name on this list is hard to like, wow, I'm okay with that guy. That guy's pretty good. Yeah, I could see myself drafting that guy too. Like, I just can't find a flaw in this second round, and it makes me really excited to draft. Chase Brown, late second round, which is great too. Like, imagine you go Saquon and Chase Brown. Like, duh, that's such a stack. Imagine you go Bijan and Chase Brown. Like, he could be an amazing second running back, but he could also be your first, and you're not going to be upset with that either. No more Zach Moss on this team. It's the Bengals. They're going to have to score a lot of points. We're watching their defense right now. Even their backups are trash. Like, it's an easy steal in my opinion.
Yeah, Chase Brown's going to catch so many passes, and we're talking about a PPR league, and I think he could be like a potential cheat code at the position. He's just going to catch so many passes. This team is going to be in shootouts every single week. And I think he's an ascending player as well. If we just want to talk about the player, Chase Brown, I'm surprised that you brought him up, because I think in Sleeper, his ADP is still kind of at the beginning of the third round. What did it say for his ADP on your draft chart?
Sure. Yeah. A consensus was the very end was 210. Was the 10th pick in the second. But yes, you're right. In Sleeper, technically, I think he's a third.
No, I mean that's good to keep in mind though, because I think he's probably climbing. Even if you are drafting on Sleeper, like, you might need to pull the trigger in the second round, which you and I have no problem with.
Yep.
He's right next to Kyren Williams, Jonathan Taylor, and to what you were saying about the second round, like, I love all those guys. So yeah, I love that pick. Let's go negative. Let's talk about players that we don't like in round 2. Andy, what you got?
Devon Achane.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
Another pass-catching running back. So what's the difference?
I think Chase Brown is going to be the Devon Achane of last year, this year. I think Devon Achane is so dependent on so many things on this team. Yes, he's probably the best between him and Tyreek. He's probably the best offensive player on this team. But Miami's going to suck this year. Like, just straight up. They're going to win 4-5 games. They are not going to be good. They're going to be trailing a lot, which means they're going to have to pass. And maybe that's in his favor. But if Tua isn't on the field, he's not reliable. Nobody on Miami is reliable if Tua isn't on the field, and we've seen that year after year. And also, he is also a pretty small dude. Like, they have Jalen Wright waiting in the wings to like be that power back, be that explosive guy to go get those like short yardage touchdowns. They lost Jonnu Smith. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of risk with your second overall pick, and it's an early second round pick in your 12-man drafts.
Yeah. I think this is our first real point of disagreement, because I like Achane. I think he's pretty safe. I think he's game script proof. You know, no disagreement here about how we project the Dolphins season to go. I'm not projecting a ton of success for them. I think he is game script proof. I think he's going to catch a lot of passes even if they are trailing. But I like your point about just the offense not being as good, especially if we compare it to the Bengals offense. It's like Chase Brown will have so many more touchdown opportunities, and he has fewer competition in his backfield than Devon Achane does. They drafted Ollie Gordon, who's another really big bruiser of a back. So, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there. I like both players, but yeah, I think Chase Brown has a higher ceiling for sure. Player in the second round that I think, look, I like all the players in the second round, but a player that I just haven't found myself taking at all is A.J. Brown, receiver for the Eagles.
Dang, man.
He's just right next to Drake London, and I love London so much.
Sure.
I just
Sure.
don't have any shares of A.J. Brown. It's not a bad pick. I think he's very consistent, but they have such a great defense, and they're such a run-first team. I don't know. I'm just not projecting as much volume for him as I am for other stud wide receivers on pass-first offenses.
I think if you wanted to have the safest first two picks, you go Amon Ra St. Brown, and then you go A.J. Brown. Like, you can't get more secure than those two warm blankets around you.
I love drafting good players on good teams, and those are some great players on great teams. So, I get it. It's just, to me, it's just a ground and pound team at this point. Like, that's not their identity. But
Sure.
I hear what you're saying. So,
okay, let's start negative this time. Who is your least favorite draft pick in the third round?
Okay, very similar. I'm going with another wide receiver who is the number one wide receiver on his team, but it projects to be a defense-heavy, run-first team, and this team doesn't even have as good of a quarterback. I'm going JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
Yeah, is that okay with you? Okay. Good,
yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else. Yeah.
No, look, even us Seahawks fans have to admit his ADP is a little out of control. I really don't get it. He had a great breakout year last year, but they downgraded at quarterback. They're just shifting their mentality to be more of a run-first team. Grubb, the former offensive coordinator, was literally fired because he was passing too much. That's not good for the incumbent wide receiver one. I just don't get why his ADP is so high. It's like ahead of Tyreek Hill. And I know no one likes Tua, but like, give me Tyreek Hill before Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I agree. Yep. On Sleeper, the website I'm using, it can show the trend. Back in June, he was the end of the second round. He was considered a second round pick, and so he's definitely dipped to early. It's not by much, but early third. I totally agree. I think yes, he's the wide receiver one, but we're really going to have to see this team first before we can make a great assessment. My least favorite is actually Trey McBride. I know. It's a great name. It's a great tight end. I think you're just giving up a lot to get like the tight end 4, tight end maybe even 5. Okay, look, hear me out. They have the same OC as last year, which nobody was impressed with, right? The biggest advantage that Trey McBride has is he's the only guy that Kyler can actually see behind his offensive line, and so he just throws it to him. But they go and draft Marvin Harrison, and what does Marvin Harrison do? He soaks up some of the targets, but then he falls off because the offensive coordinator doesn't know how to use him. I think there's a lot of hope that Marvin takes a step up, and if Marvin takes a step up, that means Trey McBride has to take a step down, and I just don't project Arizona to be very good. I think you're giving up a lot of capital, and I think he's not going to finish as the tight end 2 that he's being drafted. I think he's going to finish more like the 4 or the 5.
It's tough. I want to disagree because I think Trey McBride's great, but I have a hard time drafting a tight end in the third round, period.
Yeah.
So from a strategy-wise, I agree with you. I don't know that I agree with you narrative-wise. I think there's going to be enough in the Cardinals' offense for both of those guys to eat. I'm really impressed how Trey McBride finished as the tight end 2 last year with only 3 touchdowns on the year.
1 or 2, yeah.
Well, yeah, he like recovered a fumble in the end zone. He had a rushing touchdown, and then maybe like 1 receiving touchdown at the end of the year or something like that.
Right.
I don't think he can go much lower than that in terms of touchdown, explosive plays. Like, if anything, I think there's room for positive regression there. But yeah, I also have a hard time taking a tight end in the third. And if I did, it would be someone absolutely dominant like Brock Bowers or someone on a dominant offense. And
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I hear you.
That's a good point.
All right, let's go positive. Third round. Who you got? Who's your favorite pick?
The Ohio State wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, baby. Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah, I just find myself drafting this guy a lot. He's the wide receiver 1, obviously, as he should be, drafting in the third round. He has his college quarterback now on the same team as him. And just as you've mentioned, vacated targets are all over the yard, ready for him to scoop up and soak him up. And I think we listen to the same people that say they're going to try to throw to other people, and they're going to realize, wow, that was a bad idea. Let's throw it more to Garrett Wilson. And I totally agree with that narrative. So, yeah, he's my favorite pick in the third round.
Yeah, who else are they going to go to? Josh Reynolds, Malachi Corley? It's very safe, very safe. I am identifying a theme in some of your picks. You know, you love very safe, obvious wide receiver ones. Yeah, very cozy with Amon Ra. What are you talking about? A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson. No, I see you, and that's fine. Like, I can't knock that at all. I am nervous about the Jets, as I know you are too. Like, we don't believe in the Jets, but like, it's just a volume play. And yeah, as long as he stays healthy, I don't see how he doesn't produce consistently. My favorite pick of the third round, I'm going to go with Kyren Williams. Talked about it a little bit earlier, talking about how Ashton Jeanty is somehow in the first round when you can get workhorse running backs on better offenses later. I'm talking about Kyren Williams. I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's more in the second round. I see Kyren Williams dipping into the third round more often, so that's why I chose him here. I don't really got to break it down much farther, I don't think. It's just kind of a slam dunk, especially he got that contract. So they see him as their RB1 for the future, and all these other guys that they're drafting in the mid rounds, that's just in case he goes down. Like it's fine. By no means is it a committee. I don't see it that way at all. I think he's a total workhorse running back on a good team in the third round.
Yeah, and especially if Stafford is going to have more medical problems this year, then leaning onto Kyren is going to be Sean McVay's bread and butter. So, yeah, this is a great pick. You can't argue at all.
That's an interesting point, yeah. All right, let's move on to round 4. I'm going to start this off. Round 4, my favorite pick of round 4, it's George Kittle. Did we write down the same one for round 4?
Let's go, round 4, check mark.
Oh, I love it. The first time we actually put down the same player. That's perfect. George Kittle's awesome. He was awesome last year. It's a great offense, and really what I love is just all of the chaos in the wide receiver room. We have no idea who's healthy, who's not, what the pecking order is. It's just total turmoil, and all that means is just that George Kittle is more and more necessary to this offense moving the ball. I love that. I think he's a great player, and in the 4th round, it's much more palatable to draft a tight end.
Yeah, a great price in my mind. Not a crazy. It's still a 4th round pick, but not like exuberant or anything. And it's just a nice player that you can set it and forget it and move on from the position.
Totally. All right, who's your worst pick in the 4th round?
Rashee Rice, whatever his name is. I just, the suspension is coming. Even so, our fantasy football season, if you don't make the playoffs, is in a 12-man is going to be probably 15 weeks, because maybe even 14. If he misses 4 games, if he misses 5 games, that's a fourth of your season. You can't use this guy. And this is your 4th player that you're picking in the draft. I'm out on this guy as a whole. The suspension is coming. We saw it with Jordan Addison. We're going to see it with Rashee Rice. And what is the upside is that you draft him in the 4th round and then he doesn't get suspended. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. The argument that I'm hearing is Well, sure, he'll serve a suspension, but then when he comes back, he'll be Mahomes' number one target. And
Nah.
because he had a good, 3 games last year? In those 3 games last year, like, there was no Hollywood Brown. There was no Jalen Royals, a rookie that they added this year. And Xavier Worthy, I mean, he was just getting his feet wet in the league. Those were his first games in the NFL. So, yeah, of course, Rashee Rice soaked up a bunch of targets in 3 games last year. I don't think that's going to be the case when he comes back from his suspension. I think they're going to spread the ball around a lot more. And, he's not going to return value, even if you can withstand whatever the suspension is. And I think the suspension might be more than people are thinking. So
Yeah, that's even scarier then if that's the case. So what do you got?
my worst pick in the 4th round is Joe Burrow. No hate. It's just too early for a pocket passer. If you're playing in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, he's being drafted like right next to Jalen Hurts, who scores 6 points every time he scores a touchdown. So
Right.
you're basically, Joe Burrow has to repeat his career best season from last year for that draft pick to make sense, and that's just not an easy bet.
No, it's not. I agree. I mean, there's a argument because the defense is going to be so bad that he has to be so good, but you and me have talked at length about the Bengals offense and how it's just a lot of risk.
Totally. All right, are we good to move on to round 5?
Round 5.
All right, what's your favorite pick of round 5 right now?
You're going to notice a theme here. It's going to be called Courtland Sutton. And
Ooh.
I get mad when he doesn't fall to me or when I don't get the chance to draft him in the 5th round. Again, a wide receiver 1 to an upcoming team with Bo Nix, an upcoming quarterback. He got a contract. Sean Payton likes this guy. The team likes this guy. He's proven himself. I think if you had asked us two years ago, is Courtland Sutton going to be the future wide receiver 1 of this team? We all would have said no. Like, he's probably on his way out. They don't feature him as much as they should. He never has acted like a true wide receiver 1. This is the moment. This is with Bo Nix at the helm, Sean Payton calling the plays. I think this is the Courtland Sutton rise as well as the Denver rise this year.
I love that. Yeah, I have no problem with Courtland Sutton. That makes a ton of sense. He got a new contract this offseason. And, I think Bo Nix and the Broncos – look, this podcast loves the Denver Broncos this year. We loved them last year. We were way higher than consensus, and they won 10 games, went to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. This year, I think it's just – they're just going to keep on going up. So, yeah, I love taking Courtland Sutton. You're getting definitely a value there. My player, I have a wide receiver who, based on sleeper ADP, he's going at the very end of round 5. I would take him at the very beginning of round 5. I don't care. It's Jameson Williams, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. One of the reasons why I'm going Puka instead of Amon Ra in round 1 is because I know I can get Jameson Williams later. Not that he's better than Amon Ra, but like there's just so much value there. He had a bad rookie year because of a torn ACL from college. So his rookie year was basically a wash. His sophomore year, he only played 12 games because of a gambling suspension, right? So it's not another injury history. It's not any real reason why we would project it to happen again going forward. But I think that's kind of infected the minds of fantasy drafters that he's like somehow risky. Last year, he only played 15 games. He did miss 2 games due to an injury, and he still finished as the wide receiver 22. He's being drafted as the wide receiver 27 right now. So I think that's like his absolute floor. Yes, you lose Ben Johnson, but like I just think going into this next year, he's just going to keep going up. And like he might play 17 games, and he's going to finish higher than wide receiver 22. Like it's just such an obvious value to me.
Yeah, I think when you lose Ben Johnson, you lose some of those crazy plays. Like we've both watched the quarterback series, like the fake fumble or the the flea flicker turnaround, like to Jameson down the sideline. Like, you might lose a couple of those plays, but that doesn't. He still has Jared Goff. He still has Dan Campbell as the head coach. Like, a lot of consistency is still there, and I think it's a super amazing pick, and that allows, like you said, for a lot of upside.
If you lose those plays, those crazy like end around to Jameson Williams, you know, I think you're also losing the goal line passing touchdown to the offensive lineman. Like, you know, you can say both ways. Like, maybe it opens up more conventional plays to an explosive wide receiver.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes as my least favorite pick here.
Yeah, that's
yeah, this Pacheco should be back. Like, last year, they had to rely really heavily on Patrick Mahomes because their run game was literally non-existent. Even with Kareem Hunt, they were just bad.
Yep.
Really, this isn't the 2020 offense where they went 49-42 or something against the Rams on that Thursday Night Football. Like, we just have that cemented in our head, definitely in my head. Like, this is what the Chiefs are. This is what they can be. And they're just not that team anymore. They rely really heavily on the defense. They take as much off of Patrick Mahomes' shoulders as they can, and then when they need to, they say, "Hey, go win us the game." He is the greatest NFL quarterback. But that doesn't really reflect fantasy, and I just like you said about passing a pocket passer quarterback, I'm out at this round.
Yeah, for Mahomes to return value here to outperform his ADP, Travis Kelce would need to turn the clock way back. I don't see that happening. We just talked about how Rice is getting suspended. Like, yeah, it's bad vibes, honestly. But he's Mahomes, so of course,
yes,
he's going to get drafted highly. The worst pick of round 5, he's at the very end of round 5, but I wouldn't touch him in round 5 or 6. It's George Pickens. And right now, I feel like George Pickens is hot. Like, a lot of fantasy podcasts are talking about George Pickens. Andy, you disagree? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
All right, I got some stats. I did a little bit of a mini deep dive here. So buckle up, all right? Like, a wide receiver 2 for the Dallas Cowboys. In 2021, it was prime Amari Cooper, where they had that great offensive line. CeeDee Lamb was in year 2. In 2022, it was Noah Brown. 2023, Brandon Cooks. And last year, it was Jalen Tolbert. If you were to average all of those Cowboys wide receiver 2 seasons, it averages out to 160 fantasy points, which last year that would have been good enough for wide receiver 45 in fantasy.
Ooh, I don't like hearing that.
Yeah, that would have put you last year wide receiver 45. That's right between Marvin Mims and George Pickens, who was the wide receiver 1 for the Steelers last year.
Ooh.
So I just don't know how George Pickens, a guy who was the wide receiver 1 for the Steelers, moves to now being the wide receiver 2, and suddenly he's being drafted as he's being drafted as wide receiver 28 right now. So yeah, if you think the Cowboys are going to have an awesome season and he's going to be close to that Amari Cooper level, that was the best one. Amari Cooper finished wide receiver 27. So if you think he's going to have that kind of season, like, this Cowboys offense is going to move and there's going to be enough to go around between him and CeeDee Lamb, well, you're drafting him at his ceiling.
I'll just say it again. Why the hell did they fire Mike McCarthy? This guy was an offensive, like, savior for this team, and they let him go because they can't make the playoffs with a crappy team. Like, I don't know. Brian Schottenheimer, I'm not too thrilled about. I think you're right. I think I'm kind of falling into that basket of, like, the George Pickens hype. It's hard to hop out of that basket, I got to admit, but man, you bring up some valid points.
I had to say something because, yeah, he's a hot name right now, and I think his ADP is going up, and I'm just here to tell our listeners, I'd stay away.
Sure.
He's a knucklehead. He gets in fights on the field, but all that's secondary to the fact that he's never been like a top producer for fantasy, and now he's the clear-cut wide receiver 2.
Sure. I think it helps Dallas as a whole, but yeah, you bring up some good points. Okay, round 6.
Round 6.
Round 6. I'm going to go with TreVeyon Henderson as my favorite pick in the 6th round.
Another Ohio State Buckeye. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, weird. So weird. Yeah, I mean, Ramondre, I don't know why the hell they gave him that contract. We were all shaking our heads like that was stupid. And TreVeyon is just it's gonna take some warming up, but he is obviously better than Ramondre Stevenson. All Stevenson has to do is fumble one time, and that could be week 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
And Mike Vrabel's like, get this guy out of here. I think he's the more explosive back. I think they're just gonna realize like we have a better chance to win with him, and he is going to be the machine. He's gonna be the Antonio Gibson that they wanted when they got Antonio Gibson, in my mind. And this is just such a strong rookie running back draft class to where I think you got to take advantage of it, whether it's Jeanty, whether it's Henderson, RJ Harvey, Hampton. I think you got to just try to get at least one piece of it, in my mind.
You make a lot of great points about Ramondre. You know, he's there, but like he's not really there. Like I think the people who gave him that contract are no longer in power. It was just such an obvious mistake. And what do we hear about rookie running backs all the time? Well, he's talented, but he's got to learn how to pass protect. He's not going to get all the snaps until he learns how to pass protect. TreVeyon Henderson might be one of the best pass protecting running backs in the league already. Like that was one of his calling cards in college. So I do like that he has that, and he's going to get his way onto the field earlier than some other rookie running backs. I definitely considered RJ Harvey. It was just a little awkward because his ADP is right in between rounds 5 and 6. So it's like,
sure.
Do I reach for him in round 5? But then in round 6, there's some other players that I like. So yeah, I like Henderson. I like RJ Harvey. But my best pick in round 6 that I went with was Isiah Pacheco. Just because he's just a little more cozy to me. I know he's coming off the injury, but like he's not a rookie. He's a proven veteran. He's done it before, and he's on a good offense. We talked about Patrick Mahomes and how this passing offense isn't that good. Travis Kelce's fallen off. Rashee Rice is suspended. Yeah, that's because this team likes to play defense and run the ball, even though they have the best quarterback in football. Yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna draft Isiah Pacheco.
Maybe because I got burned by him last year in so many leagues, but I am so nervous. He broke his leg, and he did not come back looking great. They brought back Kareem Hunt. I am just so nervous that this guy it could be like a Nick Chubb situation where when he's on the field, he's incredible. But how long is he on the field for?
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. That's why he's in the 6th is because of those concerns. So I totally get it. The fact that they brought back Kareem Hunt, that's a pro in my opinion. Like that's a feather in the cap of the argument, because they could have brought in someone else. They could have drafted one of these great running backs from this draft class. I think they waited until like round 7. So yeah, all they did was bring back Kareem Hunt, who was very inefficient last year. So that to me that spoke of their confidence in Pacheco.
That's a good point. Okay, enough of this positive talk. Who you got as your worst pick in the 6th round?
Yeah, man. Like I said, you can't win your league on draft night, but you can lose it. We got to avoid these landmines, and I think one of the biggest landmines in the whole draft right now is Chris Olave, receiver for the Saints. Just a horrible pick. I don't know what he's doing up here, this high up in the ADP. Too many injuries. Like he misses so many games, and he probably has the worst quarterback of all 32 NFL teams. The offense is not going to move. So it's just like it's a low ceiling because the offense is so bad, and it's a low floor because he's had so many injuries. I just don't understand why anyone would draft this guy, but fortunately someone does in every draft.
Not in the 6th, maybe in the 8th or the 9th. But yeah, this team is going to be really bad. I only want Kamara, and that is the only piece I want of this offense. This is going to be a rough year for the Saints, and we've been saying that all offseason, really. So I totally agree. I'm going to go a little controversy here with my worst pick. I'm going to say Travis Hunter. Now,
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
this is very league dependent. I highly suggest you get on your chat, you get onto your commissioner, and you say, what are we doing about Travis Hunter? Like, are we creating a Travis Hunter rule, or are we not creating a Travis Hunter rule? Because it is just really up in the air how much he's going to play on both sides. I hope for the NFL's sake, for the viewership's sake that we do get to see him play both sides. But for fantasy, if he's out playing defense majority of this one game and not really on offense, or he only gets in for 15 plays on offense, you're like, man, I used my starting lineup pick for this guy that just plays defense, and my league doesn't give points to the defense for him. I think we really need to start having a conversation with your commissioner, with your league mates about what are we doing about him, because that could drastically change how he's valued in your draft.
Right. Yeah. Check your league settings. Do players get points for tackles? Do players get points for, if you're in an IDP league, they probably do get points for tackles, pass breakup, stuff like that. Like, he could break the league. Or if they don't get points for any of that stuff, then he's just like a part-time wide receiver, in which case you should avoid him at all costs. It's pretty crazy, but that's kind of where we're at. And I agree with you. The Jaguars will play him on both sides of the ball. That's a reality that I think more and more people need to accept. You can doubt that he will be able to do it successfully, but the Jaguars are going to try, okay? You don't use a top, what was he? He was the second pick, but they gave up so much in that trade to go get him. You're not doing that for just a DB. You're not giving up what they gave up for a 180-pound receiver. Like, they gave up what they gave up to go get him because they think he can play both sides. So that's just a reality. And I think that's going to limit his fantasy output.
Round 7.
All right. My favorite pick in round 7 is Jakobi Meyers, receiver for the Raiders. What are you giving me that face for? He's a wide receiver 1. He's a clear-cut wide receiver 1 on a team where you know he's going to get a ton of volume. Yeah, no, this is exactly why he's still around in round 7, is because that's the face that people make when they think of Jakobi Meyers. But really, like, all the arguments for Garrett Wilson, they kind of apply to Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers is not as good as Garrett Wilson, but there's like a 4+ round differential in their draft spot. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's a massive value here, and he's also safe. So depending on what you've done in your draft up to this point, I think he could be a very valuable addition.
I don't disagree that he's safe. I don't know why I'm rolling my eyes, because I just was talking about, and I've just been picking safe players, so I get it. You're totally right. When you have Bo Nix in the same round as Jakobi Meyers, how are you passing up on a Denver player here? How are you saying, no, go on ahead, Bo Nix, I don't want you? No, you're not saying that. You're saying, I want the rising star. I want the QB1. I want this machine of a human to just run the football, throw the touchdowns, score as many points as possible. Give me Bo Nix every day in the 7th round.
Drew Brees Jr. Yeah.
Ooh.
This is going to be difficult, Andy, because you and I are in a number of leagues together, and only one of us can draft Bo Nix. Maybe we'll have to take turns. I don't know if that's collusion or not, but
flip a coin.
I love that take. Round 7 for a great up-and-coming quarterback. I think you could do worse. I love that you're planting your flag. Speaking of worse, I think the worst possible draft pick you could make in the 7th round is Quinshon Judkins, rookie running back for the Browns.
Ooh.
He, up to this recording, has not signed his rookie contract with the Browns. He was holding out for a while because he was trying to get more guaranteed money, and then it came out about his domestic abuse, and now the Browns are like, I don't know if we even want you to sign at all, so that whole situation needs to be worked out. Like, I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch him with my last pick, but his ADP is still in round 7. I don't know how, I don't know why, but please, listeners, like, do yourself a favor and let someone else take Quinshon Judkins.
I agree. The website that I'm using has him in the 6th, but yeah, the very end of the 6th. But I totally agree. He fits that piece. Just based off the website that I'm seeing, I'm going to go with Tony Pollard as the running back, as the worst pick. It just depends on how you see Tennessee coming up this year. Their offensive line is trash. They were the number 1 pick for a reason, and you're drafting the running back on that, the said starting running back on that team. There's just not a lot of good arguments to say, yeah, I want Tony Pollard on my team. Hopefully you had drafted some quality running backs. You didn't,
Right.
if you went hero RB, you might be in this weird position where you're looking at DeAndre Swift or Tony Pollard. I'm going DeAndre Swift right there. What the heck? Heck, I'm staying away from Tony Pollard at all costs.
Okay, yeah, no, I struggle with this one, but yeah, I would take DeAndre Swift over Pollard for sure. It's just a better offense. So I don't. That's not even a question. All of the analytics suggests that Tony Pollard was way better than Tyjae Spears last year. People thought it would be more of a 50-50 split. It really wasn't. It wasn't from the start, and Tyjae Spears never took that job. So if you are one of these like 0 RB people, you just spammed wide receivers and the onesie positions earlier, this is at least a starting running back. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I think the offense is going to be a little bit better with Cam Ward, but no, he's not exciting at all. Yeah, you can do way better in the 7th round.
Round 8.
All right, this is the last round that we're going to cover on this episode. Look, Andy, you've been all over these Denver Broncos, and I've cheered you on from the sidelines, but this is the round that I'm jumping in. I'm getting involved, and I'm drafting Evan Engram here in round 8. If I haven't taken a tight end yet, I'm adding Evan Engram. Shout out to David Njoku. They're neck and neck for me, but I find myself leaning Evan Engram just because the Browns are a total mess. I like Njoku from a volume perspective, but I think Evan Engram has a higher ceiling in that offense. He could be like budget Jimmy Graham in this offense. They went out and got him. The most productive tight end for the Broncos last year was Luke Kroll. I think that's how you say his name. It was Krull. He caught 19 passes.
Oh yeah. Wow.
It was nuts. They didn't throw to the tight end at all because they didn't have a tight end to throw to. Like it was that guy and Adam Troutman. But they go out, they make it a priority to add Evan Engram in the offseason. And yeah, I just trust Sean Payton to have a plan for this guy.
I agree. I'm all about Evan Engram. I'm all about the Broncos. You don't got to convince me too much on this pick. I totally agree. But I wrote a different name down. I actually went with Jauan Jennings. Now, I've just been a Jauan Jennings truther, believer. He might be in the 9th round. He might be in the 8th round, depending on your draft. I think he's the clear-cut wide receiver number 1. We have no idea what's going on with Ayuk. Ricky Pearsall has to develop a relationship with Brock Purdy, where Jauan Jennings has already done that. I think if he gets a contract or not, he's going to be out there. I'm not too worried about that. And what I love about the 49ers is they have the easiest schedule in the entire NFL this year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to take advantage of that in fantasy football.
I love that. Yeah, Jauan Jennings is not practicing right now. I don't know if that's injury related or contract related or both. We just don't really know right now. But I think because of that sort of murkiness, he's a massive value down here. The only reason why I don't really find myself drafting a lot of him is because Ricky Pearsall is like right next to him in most ADP, and there's no murkiness there. Like he's ready to go. He's at practice. He's healthy, and I don't know. I'm projecting a jump for Ricky Pearsall this year, but I love Jauan Jennings too. I think there's enough to go around in this 49ers offense. If Jauan Jennings is healthy, then he's a screaming deal here in round 8. All right, what's your worst pick of round 8?
This one was pretty easy in my mind. I'm going Javonte Williams. I don't want any part of the Dallas running backs. Who knows if he's the starter? Who knows if it we don't know, and we don't care. I want the passing side of Dallas. I don't want the running backs at all.
Okay, that's interesting. So it must be those other platforms that are kind of boosting up his ADP. 'Cause I think he's a little lower in sleeper, but yeah, round 8 does feel early. I was gonna say how I actually like Javonte Williams, but yeah, not in round 8. That's way too early. It might be him. It might be Miles Sanders, and it might be both. We just don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of like taking a late shot if he's there, but yeah, not in round 8. The player that I think is the worst pick of round 8, it's Travis Etienne. This Jags backfield is a total mess. It was a mess last year with him and Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby took so much work, and the offense was bad, so it was like there was no real ceiling, and it was just a total mess. And then you have a new GM come in, and they draft Bashal Tutin in, I believe, the 4th round. And so now it's like a 3-headed monster, and I don't know who's getting what kind of work, and it's just a total like stay away at all costs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tank Bigsby is going to take the job, honestly. There is no loyalty to Travis Etienne with this new staff, this new head coach, etc.
And you can get Bigsby later.
Exactly. And yeah, I think that's a very valid point. Another name I'd throw out there is Tyler Warren. Again, kind of with like the Colts and the Jags, I don't think either team's going to be very good. So I'm avoiding a lot of the Colts players.
Yeah, there's so many mouths to feed in Indianapolis. I don't think I'm drafting any of them. And Anthony Richardson just got hurt like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It sounds like a joke, but it's not.
Right.
All right. Well, that was our favorite and least favorite pick, rounds 1 through 8. You got a lot of names in there. Hopefully some of it stuck. Let us know where you disagree, where you agree in the comments, what you want us to talk about next as we get ready for our fantasy drafts. Like, subscribe, all the things. This is a Fantasy Flow podcast. See ya.
Peace.
Thanks a ton for making it to the end of the episode. You're a real one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a free, easy way to support the show, and it really helps us out. And leave us your comments down below if you're on YouTube, or send in your questions at thefantasyflowpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time.